very difficult customer, madam. There was no need to be rude.
Mr. Johnson gave me a C on my math test.
I just need a couple of more days to work some shit out, all right? And after that,
Step back into the neon glow of the 1980s, where slang wasn't just talk, it was an entire vibe. From playful burns to over-the-top praise, the words of this decade shaped music, movies, and everyday life. Some phrases were bold, some were silly, and some were downright unforgettable. Yet today, many have slipped away, tucked into the past like cassette tapes and VHS rentals. Let's dust them off and relive the fun with 25 forgotten 1980s slangs that nobody uses anymore. Rad and radical were the ultimate superlatives of the 1980s. The kind of words teens tossed around to praise anything wildly cool, daring, or beyond ordinary. Skateboarders, surfers, and movie fans used them constantly. Rad for the quick punch, radical for extra flair. They described daring tricks, bold fashion, or unforgettable nights out. And the vibe they carried was playful, carefree, and sun-soaked.
Rad or radical?
Yep.
Yeah, radical dude.
And that just simply means it's cool. Like,
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But like all slang, they eventually faded as new generations wanted fresh words to set themselves apart. Though their roots reach back to the 1960s, where radical had a more layered meaning, the 1980s gave them their bold, rebellious edge before newer slang pushed them aside. Stay tuned. The next entry flips expectations without giving details. Gag me with a spoon is pure 1980s melodrama packed into 3 short words. People used it when something felt gross, annoying, or painfully embarrassing. Rather than just saying they were irritated, they'd go over the top, declaring they'd rather be gagged with a spoon than deal with the situation.
No, but I do a fabulous streak and tip. Girl. Like, gross me out the door.
It was a favorite in teen hangouts, malls, and movie nights, always paired with a dramatic eye roll or exaggerated shrug. Said with the right flair, it was playful, comic, and theatrical. But as younger generations coined fresher ways to express disgust or surprise, this over-the-top phrase slowly faded out of everyday slang. Betty was the go-to compliment for someone seen as pretty, cool, or simply desirable in the 1980s. It served as a quick way to point out charm without drama. Used mostly for girls and women, Betty suggested style, confidence, or an eye-catching look. In teen talk, a single Betty could shift a scene, from casual praise in a hallway to a lingering glance at a party.
Gone. Whoa, are you way gone? Stayed out way too late last night, and I'm definitely not feeling fresh. Well, these are just some...
The word slips into dialogue to give instant era flavor, making a character sound natural and tuned to their time. Betty works best with small details. A hair flip, a confident smile, or a classic outfit. Drop it into a line and the moment gains warm, retro confidence. It lands light, like a quick compliment from a friend nearby. In the 1980s, saying something was bad actually meant it was impressive, stylish, or seriously good. This flip makes the word a neat bit of slang. The usual negative meaning is turned on its head, so the tone and context matter a lot.
Your looking guy is rad. Rad. He's rad. Totally cute. Yeah. Hot. Awesome.
Used to praise music, clothes, moves, or gadgets, bad popped up in songs, movies, and everyday chat. When a character calls a trick or outfit bad, the scene gets a confident, slightly edgy vibe. Actors can use it to hint at attitude. A short nod or tone change tells the audience it is praise. This usage gives dialogue a playful twist and can quickly mark someone as bold, cool, or daring without heavy explanation. Drop it in for instant period flavor. Watch others react with smiles. Epic moved from ancient stories into street talk and came out sounding awesome. By the 1980s, epic meant something large in feeling, exciting, grand, or wildly impressive. Use it to lift a moment, a concert, a daring stunt, or a long, unforgettable night.
Tony's not just a free-spirited kid whizzing around on wheels. He's got a savvy business sense.
Calling an event epic gives it weight without heavy wording. Characters who say epic sound like they are giving a big thumbs up to the moment. It works great in closing lines or shoutouts. The single word turns a small scene into a legendary memory. Writers can pair epic with short, vivid images to sell the size of the moment. Drop it in and watch normal details stack into something that feels like the stuff of stories. It keeps dialogue simple while pushing the mood toward excitement and awe. Tubular rode in from surf culture and became a neat way to say cool in the 1980s. The word paints a picture of ocean waves and carefree days. It sounds casual and sunburnt in the best way. Surfers used it to praise a ride or a trick, but it also worked for outfits, music, or good times. Using tubular gives lines a relaxed, beachy feel and can set a scene near the shore or by a pool. In scripts, it can mark a character as laid back or part of a tight crew who loves outdoor fun. But like many slang words, its wave eventually crashed. By the 90s, tubular felt dated, even mockable, and was more often dropped with a smirk than real excitement. Still, it remains a playful shortcut to retro, sun-soaked energy. Cowabunga burst into everyday talk through surf slang and later became a popular TV show that gave it mass appeal. It was a loud, joyful shout for big moments, a daring jump, a perfect wave, or a quick victory.
We were awesome! Bodacious! Yeah! Good shit! Yeah!
Kids, surfers, and cartoon fans embraced its silly, carefree energy. In scripts, it still works as a playful exclamation, marking a high point or adding comic book flair. But shifting slang trends and fresher catchphrases eventually pushed it out of the spotlight. Today, dropping Cowabunga feels like a retro nod, fun in small doses, but also a reminder of how quickly language rides new waves and leaves old ones behind. Gnarly started in surf talk and moved into wider slang by the 1980s, where it described things that were extreme, wild, or dangerous. At first, it praised big waves and daring rides. Soon it broadened to mean anything impressive in a rough way. Use gnarly for stunts, scars, storms, or moments that leave people stunned. In dialogue, it adds grit. A character who calls something gnarly hints at respect mixed with a little fear. That sharp edge makes the word useful when a scene needs to feel risky or hard-edged. Writers can pair it with short action beats to sell the danger, a fall, a close call, or a wrecked car. Drop gnarly into the script to give moments a raw, lived-in texture that still sings of the era. Psychedelic is a big, colorful word that carried over from the 1970s into the 1980s with flair. Because of its link to hallucinogens, the word can carry a risky or trippy vibe, so be careful when it appears in dialogue.
Lasted for 10 days. Many people, mostly students from all over Australia, came, and one of them was a student from Melbourne.
Stripped of substance talk, psychedelic can simply mean wildly patterned, surreal, or deeply vivid, like bright lights, odd art, or a strange dream. Writers can use it for scenes that need a touch of weird beauty. A club with flashing lights, a fashionable outfit covered in wild prints, or an art piece that bends perception. When used well, psychedelic imagery drenches a moment in saturated colors and unusual shapes, making it feel playful yet slightly uncanny. Use it when a scene needs a visual jolt that hints at a stranger reality. Valley Girl names a certain style and way of speaking tied to California's San Fernando Valley and 1980s teen culture. It often meant an upward voice, lots of filler words such as like and totally, and a tone that sounded both bubbly and unsure. Seen in movies and songs, the label stood in for a kind of shopping mall, pop culture teen life.
Of this place. I love that it's circular when not much else of the mall is circular, and I really like the way that they laid the tile out down here.
In scripts, a Valley Girl line can quickly mark time and place. The accent, the rhythm, and the word choices tell the audience much without long explanation. Use it carefully to show a character's social scene or to add a comic touch, but avoid reducing a person to a single joke. With gentle detail, Valley Girl speech can sound true and fun instead of mocking, and it helps scenes feel vividly dated. Trippin' doesn't mean stumbling over shoelaces or missing a step. In the 80s talk, it was a quick and stylish way to say someone was acting wild, wrong, or flat-out disconnected from reality. The dropped G gave it a cool, laid-back sound, perfect for a fast reply. If a friend suggested something far-fetched, like cutting class to crash a celebrity party, someone would shoot back, "You trippin'." It wasn't a heavy insult.
Come to think of it, Jack's always interested in what people are talking about. Maybe that's why he hits it off so well with everybody.
More of a playful jab that brought a little edge into everyday talk. The word fit teenage banter, schoolyard debates, and even family spats when someone's ideas felt a little too bold. Its power came from being short, sharp, and easy to toss into conversation. Stay tuned. Another bold phrase is waiting around the corner. Bite me hit hard in the 80s, a phrase that carried the sting of rebellion in just 2 words. It wasn't about food, it was about attitude, a way of telling someone to back off without wasting breath. Depending on the delivery, it could read as fierce defiance or a teasing comeback.
Isn't it possible for you to find some other place to hang out your wet clothes than in our one tiny bathroom? I'm sick and tired of living in a laundry.
Friends might throw it out in a mall argument, a tense hallway showdown, or even in a joking clash when ribbing went too far. Directors loved it for how it froze a moment, putting a blunt stop to whatever came before. The tone mattered. Sneer it, and it cut sharp. Laugh it, and it almost charmed. Either way, it stamped a scene with finality. Flip ahead. The next phrase keeps the same crisp, unruly bite. Bodacious feels big and loud in the best way, almost like fireworks in word form. In the 80s, it became a go-to shout of approval, used for someone brave, bold, or eye-catching without needing long, fancy words. It worked for wild stunts, daring outfits, or even a friend who knew how to own the room.
Andy Anderson.
Benjamin Barry.
Cute.
Thank you.
I meant your name.
The sound of it carries a grin, half joke, half cheer, especially when paired with babe, turning it into both a compliment and a wink. Actors can sell it with a bow, a wide smile, or even a strut under neon lights. In scenes full of music, skateboards, or fast cars, bodacious lands like applause. It gives dialogue a rush of flair, mixing sweetness with a streak of wild energy. Dudette is the girl form of dude, and in the 80s it rolled off the tongue with an easy charm. It wasn't just a word, it was a social handshake, a way to include someone in the group. Friends tossed it around in school halls, skate parks, and malls, often with a grin that made it clear no one was being too serious. Calling someone Dudette felt like sharing an inside joke,
Splurge and purge, or like scarf and bar.
a marker of trust and good vibes. The word works in scenes of casual hangouts or group bonding, where connection matters more than polish. Actors can play it light, with a quick laugh or a shoulder bump, so it reads like warmth, not labeling. Dudette still gives dialogue a soft, retro ring, carrying both friendliness and cool confidence. Hella is one of those compact words that can stretch a scene's energy in seconds. In the 80s, it hit especially strong in California, where teens used it as a booster for anything intense. Hella fast, hella cool, hella loud. It's short, sharp, and flexible, giving dialogue the punch of an exclamation point without slowing the flow. Used before a noun, it makes details jump off the page as if they've been underlined in sound.
We use, scroned. That means you messed up. Like, you scroned.
Actors can drop it quick, almost throw away, to keep it natural and raw. The word also carries a slight local pride, adding an edge that helps a character stand out. Perfect for heated arguments, hyped celebrations, or quick bursts of attitude, Hella lets dialogue scale up instantly, taking tone from plain to powerful in a single beat. What's your damage slices through small talk like a knife? In the 80s, it was a sharp line, perfect for calling someone out when their behavior felt over the top. It doesn't just ask, "What's wrong?" It digs at the wound beneath the surface, forcing a character to either explain themselves or lash back harder.
What is your damage, Heather? Jasper. Duh.
The phrase packs both bite and opportunity, setting up a clash or a confession. Drop it in crowded halls, tense friendships, or heated arguments, and it pushes the scene toward raw truth. Actors can sharpen it with narrowed eyes, tilted heads, or mocking laughs to load the sting. Timing matters. It works best as a sudden hit, breaking rhythm. What's your damage gives dialogue an edge of confrontation, making moments sharper, louder, and more brutally honest. Barf Me Out isn't about throwing up, it's about flipping out, freaking out, or losing cool fast. In the 80s slang, it captured the panic or disgust that crashes over someone in an instant. Teens used it when busted by parents, when plans collapsed, or when a crush showed up too soon. It could also land as disgust, a gross cafeteria lunch, a bad smell, or a fashion disaster.
LD, you should let me do your hair sometime, you know? I'm like this dynamite beautician. Yeah? Yeah. Can you do cornrows?
The phrase works best when a character hits an emotional wall, either comic or serious. Delivered with a ragged voice, a wide-eyed pause, or even a gasp, it sells the moment of shock. In dialogue, Barf Me Out gives raw, unpolished texture, carrying equal parts panic and humor. It makes scenes feel lived in, as though the words tumbled out before anyone had time to think. No Duh is quick, sharp, and dripping with attitude. In the 80s, it became the ultimate sarcastic reply to something painfully obvious, almost like an eye roll in word form. A kid might drop it when a friend states the obvious or when an adult over-explains. It's short enough to cut through chatter like a cymbal crash, instantly shifting tone. Directors can play it dry, with flat delivery and a raised eyebrow,
as in, you are one bodacious babe.
And that's
or push it playful, with a smirk and a shrug. The fun is in the rhythm. It needs to pop, land, and vanish before the moment drags. No Duh keeps dialogue snappy, making a character seem quick-witted, cheeky, or just fed up. It's the perfect tool to keep group banter alive, while slipping in that extra spark of sass. Speaking of obvious, what's the word the 80s used for anything totally perfect? Find out next. Choice was pure 80s slang for anything slick, polished, or flat-out perfect. It was short, sweet, and a way to crown something without fuss, like pointing at a jacket, a car, or a clean trick and sealing it with a nod of approval. That's Choice, had a crisp snap, almost like signing off a sentence with a stamp of cool. It works well in dialogue where characters admire details.
That's Nolly. That's actually a ghost. That's PGO.
Clothes, moves, or moments. Actors can drop it smoothly, with a wink or a head tilt to make it feel effortless. On screen, Choice paints quick-style notes without slowing the pace. Add a brushed jacket sleeve, a tight hair flip, or a skateboard trick, and the word lands even harder. It keeps the mood crisp and cool, carrying effortless confidence in just one beat. Grody is a wonderfully blunt word, sharp enough to make people wrinkle their noses. In the 80s, it became the quick strike for anything gross, ugly, or cringeworthy. A cafeteria tray of mystery meat, a smelly locker room, or a pair of old gym socks. Teens loved it because it said everything in one hit. Disgust, rejection, and a little comedy too. It fits well in banter, where one character needs to shove an idea.
Okay, tastes all right. It's real good. I like it.
Outfit, or smell right off the table. Actors can lean into the delivery with a face twist, scrunched nose, or clipped tone. Grody works best when tossed fast, so it doesn't lose its punch. Whether comic or cutting, it keeps dialogue alive with the kind of raw honesty only a teenager could get away with. Chill Pill grew into talk in the early 80s when new calm meds were tested for kids who moved too fast. People called the medicine a chill pill and then used the phrase as a short, sharp note to cool down. It means to stop, breathe, and slow the rage or panic. In a scene, it can be used when tempers boil, when a plan goes wild, or when a friend pushes too hard. The line can be teasing or firm, so the voice must match the need. Placed right, it cuts heat and gives a neat pause for the next line. It fits mall fights, late-night rows, and small group spats. Keep the use light and let faces slide on to the next line and feel pulse rise. Bogus is a short, blunt word that means fake, false, or not real. It was used in the 80s to call out a weak trick, a phony item, or a bad excuse. The tone sits flat and sharp, so the call lands quick.
Bogus. Bogus. Bogus meant something was messed up, not cool. So an example of this would be:
drop bogus into a line when a character sees a cheap move or a claim that will not hold up. It works in class fights, market stalls, and street talks where proof matters. The word keeps a scene tight and moves the mood fast. Awesome sauce is a playful blast of praise that sounds like a cheer and a laugh. It takes simple praise and makes it bright and silly in a good way. Use it for a small win, a great trick, or a kind gift that lights up a face. The tone is eager and light, like a friend who cannot help but clap.
Awesome sauce. One used other than with a figurative or idiomatic meaning. See awesome sauce.
In a script, it lifts a beat and makes the joy feel shared. Keep it short so it does not drown the scene, and let the smile and small move sell the feeling. Placed near a win or a surprise, the phrase makes the moment feel warm and fun. To bounce means to leave a place fast or to get moving. It reads like a cool, easy exit and fits nights at the mall, party ends, or a quick escape from trouble. Saying, "gotta bounce," tells friends the time to go has come. No long talk. In a scene, the word helps move the pace and push the cast onto the next beat. A quick step, a packed bag, or a shout over loud music can sell the line.
But with the phrase, "let's bounce," it actually means, "let's go." You can also use this slang phrase.
It works both as a soft cue and as a sharp exit, so tone matters. Use bounce when a move is clean and simple, and when the story must skip ahead. The word keeps scenes lean and the rhythm fast. Keep it short and clear so the scene moves on. Before you bounce, guess the word for that friend who can't sit still. Coming up next. Spazoid names a person who acts jumpy, restless, or full of wild moves. The 80s used it for a kid who could not sit still, or for someone who buzzed with odd energy. Used by friends, it can be a light tease. Used in anger, it can sting.
Picked himself up, brushed himself off, and said, "I guess I should have said up."
In a script, it fits a character who flits from one thing to the next, or who brightens a room with odd energy. Keep the use kind when the goal is humor, and leave space when the word might hurt. Place it in loud rooms, at parties, or during long waits so the move reads true. The word paints a vivid picture with few words and adds real life to scenes.